Hey guys, what is up? It's Dusty here, and welcome back to another crypto video. So, for all of you that do not know, a little bit later today, there will be a court hearing between Ripple, the SEC, and a judge. This hearing is going to be about the deposition of William Hinman, and the exact time is 3 p.m. Eastern Time or 9 p.m. Amsterdam time, if you wanted to know about that one. Now, we will be streaming this on the channel, and how you can find it, because there's not going to be a notification, is just going on the channel and, most likely seeing that I have a live stream scheduled or something along those lines. Just kind of refresh the channel and you'll find it a little bit later today. But if you are a follower of XRP and the news and whatnot, I definitely recommend you to check that stream out, as I'm going to be paying whatever the cost to get this into this call. I will not be broadcasting the call itself, but I'll be telling you guys about the hearing if it becomes public. Now, this is actually the only time ever where the number and all of that stuff, and even the court scheduling themselves, have been done this late. Even now, there's not even a number out, and James Phelan posted the public call-in number for the telephone conference regarding the SEC's motion to quash William Hinman's deposition has not yet been docketed yet. So I have nothing to report tonight. When I get it, you'll get it. Thanks for your patience. And to be honest, I'm a little bit confused why that's the case, because I don't really understand how they couldn't get a number straight at the bat like most of the times. And also, it's today. And even today right now, there hasn't been a number published. Sometimes I'm thinking that they want to do that type of stuff to make sure that people can't either hear it, because, well, that's literally what they're doing, or because it's so busy, which I couldn't really fathom, but mostly because it might be more annoying for people to do the stuff that I want to do, like, for example, broadcast it to you guys. Again, once more, guys, I'm not violating the law. I am not going to broadcast anything that's not broadcastable. I will not broadcast any other voices. We will just listen to it, and I will tell you guys what's going on. That's what we're going to be doing, all right? So no violation of the law. Please don't think I'm going to do that. Please, if you want to find somewhere else to listen to it illegally, you do you, but I'm going to try my best, and there's going to be a chat filled with people who also want to hear about this type of stuff, so definitely recommend you guys to just check it out. A link will be down. No, I'm not sure. I'll most likely put the number down below in the comment section if you actually get it, but for right now, though, there's no number, there's no extra info. 3 p.m., there isn't even a time zone mentioned, but you guys said in the comment section it is always Eastern time or Eastern Standard Time. I'm not sure if there's actually a difference between those. But just come by in the channel, and I'll definitely make sure there's a stream running so you guys can just hop on in and chill and relax. And by the way, if you're wondering what exactly it's all about, there's this individual that worked over in the SEC. He's called William Hinman. He gave his speech in 2018 about Ethereum and the status of ICOs and the status of crypto, basically, of which Jay Clayton based a lot of his opinions, which later on is also the guy who sued Ripple. Now, with that said, people right now are questioning why exactly he gave that speech and what exactly it meant, because he later, now that Ripple has questioned him, reiterated that none of the opinions expressed in that letter, which is deemed the most important crypto letter to date in the world in 2018, that actually had no relevance, and that all the opinions expressed are just his own opinion and should not be held for any relevance, which basically means that his understanding of Ethereum at the time, and even now, doesn't actually matter, which basically means that there's no real verdict on Ethereum. That's actually one of the things he said. Right now, as it currently stands, Ethereum is not a security, but it's also not a security. It has no real official rules set in place, which is contradictory to what we thought. We thought Bitcoin and Ethereum were properly regulated, even though I've told you guys before as well, this is just what the SEC has been saying, and there's no way to actually prove that those two cryptos are officially good because there hasn't been a public trial, and the SEC cannot make rules themselves. They have to do it through another party like a judge or so to officially get rules into place. Having said that, now, we are kind of wondering exactly what Ripple wants to ask, but we can't really see that just quite yet because the SEC filed a motion to quash. The SEC does not want him to be questioned on two bases, basically. One, they say that William Hinman was a high-ranking SEC official, and so he cannot be questioned. And two, I guess there's 3 points. One, they also say they don't have really probable cause because he has no first-hand knowledge of the facts or unique first-hand knowledge at that. That he doesn't actually know anything about XRP or XRP sales, and he doesn't have any unique knowledge about the SEC innards, so there's no real necessity to question him. And the last part, obviously, regards to the privilege, where, again, he is an SEC Remember when he wrote that speech, so they can't ask him about the speech because that's privileged info. Which Ripple replied to saying, well, if some of the stuff is privileged, we still want to question him, and you can actually deny some of the specific questions if those are privileged, and you can ask the judge about that. Which is ultimately what I think will go down tonight. John Dean said, I agree with Attorney Jeremy Hogan. So Attorney Jeremy Hogan said on Twitter, let's quickly see if we can find this. Well, I had it open just now. Well, basically, one of the things he said is that the hearing, he thinks it will go through. Okay, why am I... I'm not sure exactly where it's supposed to be. He replies to a lot of things, holy smokes. That's annoying. Okay, but at least one of the things he actually replied to is basically talk about this motion. First of all, he said, my quick take on the scheduling of a conference on a fully briefed motion is that it is bad for Ripple. If she was satisfied by the briefings, she would have simply ordered the deposition to take place. She might need more from Ripple if she is to order the deposition. We'll see. And my reply to that one is maybe. Of course, logically speaking, it could also be because she wants to clear some air up, or maybe understand more about the SEC's defense or more about Ripple's reason for deposition. It's really hard to say exactly what she's seeking because, well, there's just a couple of days in the midst here. Okay, one of the things he basically said was that if there's going to be a verdict, which there most likely will be, it's most likely going to be as soon as possible / nearly instantly, on the basis that, well, the longer she waits, the more difficult it's going to get, since the deposition is supposed to be in 4 days. Let's say about 3 days once this call actually goes live and whatnot. And that basically means if she doesn't reply today, well, and when then, right? I mean, that's going to be, as I just said, really, really difficult. And he had a little subtweet about that somewhere too, about how he explained that that's most likely the case, that it has to be that within this call, so at 9 p.m., somewhere throughout that call, she's most likely going to be given her ruling instantly. But let's just quickly see what John Dean said because I can't find it anymore. I agree with attorney Jeremy Hogan and believe that him and deposition will go forward. If it doesn't happen, Jeremy can continue to never be wrong and say it was Deaton that was wrong. Of course, I did assume this deposition would be allowed without a need for oral argument, but Jeremy Hogan replied, said, I will take you up on that. If the motion is granted, I will say I was just listening to what you said and I have my doubts all along. By the way, your blogs are awesome. Keep up the good work. And the blog here specifically talks about, the whole ordeal about tomorrow's deposition. Yet he also explains now, you can't really know all these things up front. You can't really know exactly whether or not something will pull through because these are, first of all, some really big money cases, which maybe these guys have never been, with. Maybe this is all a lot higher than they've got their, head in before. But also from a different perspective, every judge is different. Every case is different. And in this perspective, it's also something that doesn't actually make too much of a sense. We've explained before, the entire scenario here is so exceptional and so ununderstandable. Here is a quick but not exhaustive review of what XRP holders and crypto holders and investors in general deserve to know should William Hinman be permitted to testify. And let's just quickly go over the underpinned comments. Ethereum, Simpson Thatcher, and millions of dollars in his bank account. He basically, just right after the speech, started talking with some of the guys from Ethereum basically, and we're questioning how all of a sudden he got so many payments. You can see I pressed some of these things before in the past because we have read through a lot of things over in this blog before. And we're basically asking, or wanted to ask him, how he got the money and what for. Some people argue that he got money for giving Ethereum at least a look of clarity, which in hindsight wasn't actually completely real clarity. Hinman's Ethereum speech and the Coinbase listing of Ethereum Classic. 3 days before the pivotal Hinman speech on Ether in 2018, Coinbase announced the listing of Ethereum Classic on its exchange, an asset fork from the Ethereum blockchain that was widely anticipated to be declared a security, like Ether itself. Ether was launched in an ICO in 2014. This immediately raised questions at the time amongst analysts about whether the SEC had privately given advance notice to Coinbase or the Ethereum Foundation of what Hinman was about to announce. Did the SEC tip off Hinman Simpson Thatcher's colleagues before the market got his speech? Let's hear about answers under oath. And of course, also, I want to know more about insider trading in the specific part of if these guys, in some way, shape, or form, work with these foundations or, from a different perspective, work for previously or something like that, or afterwards, like Jay Clayton, for hedge funds. Have they given a little sign of, hey, I'm going to give some sort of regulation, or I'm going to sue somebody, or I'm going to say this, that, and so they could anticipate on that or not? Hinman's meeting with the Ethereum Foundation after the Ethereum speech and about the whole just a personal opinion, not a policy nonsense. This part basically refers to the fact that William Hinman, as an SEC official, gave this speech, right? And it basically looked like, because he discussed that within the SEC with all those different members, what they were going to say. And in the end of things, the SEC, whatever they discuss and announce, that's all we can take it at. Because once more, they can't really make rules themselves too much. They have to go through other parties. And them discussing something is enough of a baseline to make your decisions upon, right? Because the SEC is the Securities and Exchange Commission. If they say something, you take that as a fact and as something to watch out for and realize. Now, a little bit later, though, they came out to say that none of the stuff he's actually said matters at all, which basically questions to me why he said something. If an individual like him of status says something in the name, in my own opinion, he says it's personal, but in the name of the SEC, because he's a high official there, it's the same thing as the president, but we'll come to that in just a second. If he says some stuff about what you should watch out for and what stuff are safe, but it turns out that that stuff is completely false or has no real relevance to the real world, it's just his opinion, but he discussed that with all the SEC members and they most likely came to this conclusion, yet it's not really in the real world the truth, then why would you give this speech? Just to give your opinion about something that doesn't matter? Because in the end, if his opinion doesn't matter and nobody can actually use that in any way, shape, or form, but he did discuss it within the whole SEC, but it's not fact and it's never going to happen. For years now, it didn't happen. What's the purpose? You're just kind of sugarcoating us. It's like, here you go, a little bit of beef jerky. I'll hold that on top of your head, but you can't get food for the next couple of years because, big F you to the face. That's kind of the way I'm feeling it. And the way I'm talking about the president here is like, in a sense, the president, if he says, oh, this stuff is definitely not safe, right, from a certain perspective about something, you already know he most likely discussed that with a lot of different people. And he most likely got the thumbs up from a lot of different people to be able to say that. Just a little bit of an example. Don't take this too seriously. So if all of a sudden people are like, oh, but you said that was not safe, or the opposite, you said that was safe. And he says, oh, no, I don't know. Officially we discussed it all, but it's not official that it's not safe or it is safe. I don't know. I mean, it's just my own opinion about that stuff. That would be crazy, right? Because if from a certain perspective, the highest up authority on a specific subject says something. If the army, an army commander says, no, don't go into the don't go into territory, or go into territory, it's safe, or exactly the opposite. You go, he's like, oh, but I didn't know for sure. It's just my opinion. I mean, you can still, a lot of stuff is still happening down there. I didn't know. I mean, we never made a real official thing about it. It's like, oh, I didn't, it's no relevance. It's odd. You would kind of logically, and that's again what the SEC is all about, to protect the investors and to make sure people of ordinary intelligence understand this type of stuff, because that's literally one of the questions that they always have and always ask. Could a person of ordinary intelligence have noticed or known this type of stuff? That's always a question that's in there. Well, if that's the case, and it's so questionable / weird, then they're not doing a good job. And that's something I like to just kind of pinpoint again. It's such a strange lawsuit, and it's so odd the way it's going. And I do really want it to be deposed, mostly because it's just going to help open up a little bit of the questions that people have. Once more, we want to know exactly why he made some of those decisions. I would say maybe not go too far into the speech itself, which is also not what he's doing here, because the speech itself might be privileged, which basically means he did that in name of the SEC. And if the president, if any person of really high importance writes a letter or says something, he can't be held responsible for a controversial opinion or controversial statement like that, because they're privileged, basically. You can't sue him for that type of stuff. However, you can question things that happen around it, if it's not from inside the speech, basically. And that's really good on these 4 points. They're good questions, and I would like to see them answered too. And it could be that he's the only person who has inside knowledge about that, and he's not high-ranking official anymore. He's just a normal person. So I would think that he's going to be deposed, and Ripple's going to be able to ask him some questions. And if the SEC really wants to, they can deny some questions. But, well, if there's any number, I'll tweet it out for you guys. I'll make sure you hear it. Right now, there's no number just quite yet. I'll just quickly retweet this for you guys as well. Later on, I'll also be talking a little bit more about BitBoy, because there's a little bit of a situation going on about that. And guys, make sure you check out the Bybit competition. There's 30,000 XRP to be won. I really recommend you guys to go check it out. A link is down below. Right now, we are at 1,500 XRP. That's certainly going to be given away. If there's one more person who enters, it all of a sudden goes to 3,000. And at 500 people, we still have a couple of days to go. 30,000 XP will be given away to a couple of you guys. It will be split over 10 people. 30,000 XRP for completely free. It doesn't cost you any money. So make sure you enter. Link is down below. If you're from the US or UK, make sure you use VPN. And once more, a link will be down below. I'll see you guys again in another crypto video later today. A lot of stuff is coming out though. So make sure you subscribe and make sure you have the notification bell on because, well, more stuff is coming out.